Okay, so today we're going to talk about S5G.1 Composite Functions, and the first parts of this handout are explained extremely well uh, with Professor Dave Explains. So these questions are exactly from his handout, and he does his little dance and then he explains his stuff. So the warm-up questions are explained with FOIL on if you go to YouTube, Professor Dave Explains um, multiplying binomials. And then the rest of the handout, if you go to Professor Dave Explains, manipulating functions. Okay, so these functions we're not really going to see on any tests probably at all, but it's useful to see. If I have f plus g and then the x like this just means the function of f plus the function of g. This minus means the function of f minus the function of g, the function of f times the function of g, and the function of f divided by the function of g. Now I want you to understand this is a solid dot, which we won't see that at all for the rest of this worksheet, because you're going to most often see it with an open circle dot like that. And when you see that, that means we're going to do a composite function. So a composite function means you have a function inside a function. So like I said, this is explained really, really well on Professor Dave. I want you to watch his explanation. But basically, this says we've got the function f equals g of x. So basically, think of it like this. Actually, I'll use pink. This is f of g of x. That's how it's said, f of g of x. And so g of x is equal to x minus 5, right? So I'm going to put in x minus 5 right there. And f, the function of f, is 2 times whatever this is plus 1. So it's 2 times that whatever that pink dot is plus 1. That's what we do when we're doing a composite function. And now I can simplify it. Okay, distributive property with a 2, and then simplify. Like I said, watch Professor Dave Explains. If you want to check your answers, hit pause. If you want to check your answers here, hit pause. Okay, so the bottom part of the page is not Professor Dave Explains. It's from a textbook. So here, g of x is equal to 3 minus 4x. And now I'm going to f of x is equal to 2 times whatever this is, 2 times whatever that is plus 1. And then we simplify. And then g of f of x, so f of x is that, right? And then g of x is 3 minus 4 times that. Okay, if you are a little unsure, you should watch the video. Hit pause and replay. Okay. So here I've got the function f of -1. I plug in -1 in place of x in the f of x, and then I simplify it, and then I get -11. And g of x is the -11 squared plus -11. Okay, I'm just going to put this up here so you can check your answers. I'm not going to explain it. Okay, hit pause. Okay, I'm going to put this up here so you can check your answers. On question 4, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So in order to find domain and range, what I did was I graphed my final function. So here I did this is f of g of x right here. F of g of x, right? And I get x squared minus 4x plus 4. Now I can go on the calculator and do x squared minus 4x plus 4, and then I can graph that, and we can see from my graph the domain is going to be all real numbers, so we write that like this, all real numbers, and then my range, everything above y equals 0, everything above. So my range is everything higher than that, and my domain is all real numbers. It goes in all directions. I can plug in any value in for x. Okay. Okay, g of x, I did that right here, and I get 2 minus x squared. So if I type that into my calculator, 2 minus x squared, we get an upside down parabola, and the highest point of that is 2. So my range is y is less than 2, and the domain, just like in the other one, all real numbers. You can plug in any number in for x and get some sort of answer. Okay. 5, part A shouldn't be too hard, right? G of x is equal to this, and then f of x is that thing squared plus 1. And then we simplify it. G of f of x is this, and then g of x is 3 minus this, and then we simplify. Now question B says, find the value of x such that g of f of x equals f of x. So g of f of x is this, right? G of f of x is this. So I'm going to make that, the 2 minus x squared, equal to f of x. What is f of x? F of x is x squared plus 1. Okay. So g of f of x is the answer from II, equals f of x, which is x squared plus 1. Okay, now we do some algebra. I subtract 1 on both sides, and I get 1 minus x squared equals x squared. I can add x squared on both sides to make this cancel out, and then I get 1 equals 2. X squared plus x squared gives me 2x squared. I divide both sides by 2, I get this, and then I take the square root of both sides. And that is this handout. Please, please, please watch the Professor Dave Explains. He does such a good job, and he's got cool music at the end.